Dear world, welcome back. In today's session, we'll be studying the Java queue interface. So before we move through the entire theory part, this is actually theory part. Then we'll move towards the coding part. So before we move towards the coding part, first let's understand the theory part. So let's move to the official documentation of the queue interface. So right now we are in the official documentation, and from here we'll understand the interface queue, and then one by one we'll implement all the things in the code. So let's look. This is interface queue. So you might be wondering that what type of data set is a queue interface. So let's see, let's check here. Queue data structure images. So as you can see in the images, open image in new tab, and now you can see, so this is actually queue data structure. In queue, what it happens here, that from one side the data, the numbers get added, and from another side the data gets popped out. So this is here, it follows the FIFO data structure. That means first in, first data will be added and first data will be out. So when we add the 3, it comes here, and from front it again goes out. So this is first in, first out. This is the queue data structure, what it follows. So let's understand the theory. So now we will be, this is interface queue. Interface queue, that means this is an interface, not a class. We actually can implement the class, but we cannot implement the interface. In fact, we have to implement the interface with the help of other concrete classes like linked list, like priority queue, etc. So queue is an interface, and there are a lot of classes that implement the queue interface. So now look, this is how we can implement the queue, and these are all known implementing classes. As I told that we can implement the classes using a lots of classes. So let's see. First, using abstract queue, array blocking queue, array dequeue, concurrent linked dequeue, concurrent linked queue, delay dequeue, linked blocking queue, linked list, link transfer queue, priority blocking queue, priority queue, synchronous queue. So these are all the classes through what we can implement the queue interface. So this is, in today's video we'll be actually observing the link queue and the priority queue. You might be asking why two link queue and priority queue, because these are the two what are the most used. Now let's move to the next part. These are the important methods. These are the important methods of queue interface. Add. This is used while inserting an element. We can use add element and it will add the element, or we can use the offer element, it will also add the element. Second, we can retrieve any element using the element and peek. If we use the element method, it will give us the element back, and if you use the peek method, then it will also give us the element back. And if you just use for removing element, we can either use remove and pull. So this is from official document where you can study all the methods. Now we'll look into the code. So let's move back to look into the code. Now we will implement all the classes one by one. So this is queue utop. So we'll put out all the files in here. So let's create a file here. First look, this is in this directory we will be working, but our this terminal is in the main directory. So first change the directory, command queue yt. Now we'll be creating a file code. Look, this is Java queue interface, and this Java queue interface is actually available in java.util packages. That means whenever we implement the queue, we have to import this file, import java.util.que, and it always follows the FIFO data structure, as I told, first in first out data structure. So these are all the methods from where we can implement. Using those all the classes, we can actually implement the linked list, import java.util.linked, import java.util.priority queue, import java.util.array queue. In the next session, we will look all the methods one by one, and these are the main methods. In today's video, we will actually observe the main 6 methods of the Java queue. So code queue linked list example .java. And now first we will be importing the queue. Import java.util, cause it stays in the file java.util queue. Import java.util.linked list, cause we are implementing the queue with the help of linked list. Public class queue linked list. Now look, our this file q linked list example, this file should must be equal to the name of the file. This is the rules of the Java. So this is the main file. We declare the main file public static void main. Now we will be creating a queue. So queue, this is interface name, and the data type we are providing is a string. Let's say string. You can either provide float, long, double, byte, boolean, etc. But we are using string. Queue is string queue. That is equals to new. That is equals to new queue. New linked list, and this is in here. We don't have to mention the data type as per the Java new rules. So this is we now adding the elements. We will be adding elements to queue. And for adding elements, as we saw, we can use two methods. There are two methods. Either we can use the method add, or we can use the method offer, or we can use the method offer. In the theory, you can see either you can use the method add or we can use the method offer. So we'll be using both the methods. Kiwi.add, let's say WikiGalaxy, Kiwi.add WikiCode, Kiwi.offer. Now we are adding offer method to add elements. Wiki how, Kiwi.offer, wiki news, etc. So these are all the elements that we added elements. Now suppose we want to view the first element. We first inserted WikiGalaxy. Now we want to view the elements. So now retrieving the first element, retrieving the first element. So for the retrieving elements, we can use two methods. Either we can use the peek method or we can use the element method, as in the theory. Either we can use the element method or we can use the peek method. What it does is that it just returns as the element. It doesn't remove the element, it just returns the elements. So let's see both the elements. System dot out dot println, fetching first element, and for that kiwi dot element, we are using the kiwi dot element method. System dot out element, and now we are using, instead of element method, we are using the method peek, kiwi dot peek. And now let's see, and now let's print the entire queue. And now we'll be observing the file. So first, before running the file, we have to compile the file. For that, we have to use Java compile -d dot kiwi linked list example dot java. And now we'll be running the file using java kiwi file name. And now you can see that we got the fetching first element. Our kiwi.element method returned as the first element WikiGalaxy, and kiwi.peek also returned as the first element. And this is our entire queue. So this is how we can add element using the .add.offer method, and using the .element and .peek method we can get the element. Now there is also we can get the element using other methods. Like if you use the queue.remove element, it will, if you use the queue.poll element, it will also give us the element, but it will remove the element. If you use the remove method, it will also give us the element, but it will remove the element. That means it works in both ways. It retrieves the element, that is provides us the element, and removes the element also. It again retrieves the element and removes the elements also. So now we will be observing these two methods, remove and poll. Removing elements, for that system dot out dot println removing the head kiwi dot remove, and now the head will be removed. System dot out dot println removing the head. Now as WikiGalaxy has been removed, in next year the wiki code will be removed. So now we'll be using the kiwi dot pull method to remove the elements. And now again we'll print the entire list to check if those elements got removed or not. System dot out dot println kiwi. So for running the new codes, again we have to compile the Java file. So let's compile java compile -d dot and let's run the file. And now you can see removing the element WikiGalaxy got removed, removing the element WikiCode got removed, and now only in our queue there are only 2 elements left. So these are the basic methods of kiwi, that is add, offer, linked list, etc. This is the implementation using queue linked list that is mostly used. But there are another type of implementation also, like we can use the priority queue. And in case of priority queue, do you know what it does? It actually construct the queue in such a manner that it prioritizes the queue. That means we are adding that add, offer. That means here FIFO is not maintained. Instead the priority is maintained. So let's see the priority queue example. So let's make another file, code priority queue example.java. Now we have to again import the queue. Import java.util.kiwi EUE. Import java.util.priority queue. Now we will again create the file with the same file name, public slash priority queue example. So this is public static void main. We made the main file. Now we will be declaring again the kiwi. So you are using the kiwi interface, kiwi, and let's say now we'll be using integer. Look, here in this section you always have to use the main wrapper class. That means you cannot use integer, char, bool, long, etc. You have to use the full name, integer, character, string, in that way. So this is kiwi integer, and now this is priority queue kiwi EUE, new priority queue, and this is the same type. So now we will be again adding elements, kiwi priority kiwi, because the object name is priority kiwi dot add. Let's say we are adding 20, priority kiwi dot add, let's say 30, priority kiwi dot add, let's say 40, and now we are adding, let's say, priority kiwi dot add, and now 1, priority kiwi dot add. Now this is 5. So we are adding all the elements. Now when we will observe that these elements while it gets inserted in the queue, it will automatically make a priority of their serial ascending order, and it will got printed in the ascending order instead of the order they got inserted. So now this is priority queue. Now let's check how they are being inserted in the queue. System dot out dot println priority queue. And now we need to compile the Java compile file. Java compile -d dot priority queue example dot java priority queue example.java. And now you can see all the elements got printed in the priority order. code wise, they have generated internal hash code, and according to that code they have made the priority, so they failed with the priority. So this is how they may actually the elements are arranged in the priority queue. Now we can retrieve the element using the same methods element. So for that we can use the dot element method.